Let's go.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to MangaPod.
Hello.
Hello. We are a weekly podcast in which get together after we read all or part of a manga and then we discuss it with friendship, love, and lots of spoilers. This week we are talking Chainsaw Man chapters 1 through 21. I am Erin of Happily Erin, and I have to say really quick before we go on, if you see any sort of black flashing going on the screen, Discord is being extra wonky tonight.
It's being
for
super weird for
everybody.
multiples of us.
Yes. There was one point in sound check where one person left and then another person left, and right as the other person appeared, another person left, and so people were just popping in and out. Just all sorts of madness.
Really good stuff. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm Erin at Happily Erin, your host. With me, Julie Coast, as well as a very special guest. So I have everybody go around and introduce themselves, please.
Hello, everybody. I'm Dodger. And I, to be honest, I never thought that we would read Chainsaw Man on MangaPod. And I'm delighted to hear what everybody else thinks of it. This is going to be very exciting for me. So
I love it. Lou?
What's everybody? What's up, everybody? My name is Lou, and yeah, this is a manga that we read. It was a thing. I'm staying audio only, partly because I'm on a work laptop, so I can't really do video, but also I want it to be the image that you see, which you have no context for. But if you stick around, you'll find out just exactly why it's so great.
But the people who do have context have probably already left because they're so angry with you.
That's fine. That's fine.
That's fine.
That's the price we pay for art. I mean, that's what MangaPod is.
Love it. Moeka?
Hi, I'm Moika. I don't know what to say other than I don't know what I don't know. It's too much. It's too much. But it's the
Buckle
best.
up, guys.
Buckle. This is spoiler-free section. Just wait till we get to the spoilers.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys have never joined us for a manga pod before, what we like to do is give you a short spoiler-free description of the manga that we read, aka summary. Moeka will be reading that for us, and then we will give you our spoiler-free recommendations, whether we think you should spend time going to read this manga or not. That way, if it sounds like something you're interested in, you can skip a doodle out of here once we get to spoiler section. We ask that nobody post any spoilers for anything in the chat until we get to spoiler section. After that, please don't post anything past chapter 21. We're very severe, harsh.
Very severe
on spoilers. So don't fake them, don't lie about them, don't chance it.
Or you're out of here.
Yeah. Or you'll die on the spot in the internet.
Yeah.
Okay. Am I good to go?
You're good. Throwing it to you.
I guess Devil Hunter's the best for making money, proclaims chronically broke Denji, a devil hunter for hire. With his trustworthy chainsaw and his chainsaw dog, Denji vies to make it to his next meal. However, nothing is ever as it seems, and things never go as planned. Madness begins with the story of a dark hero who will rock the world. A new era of devils, hunters, and chainsaws begin.
There you go. It's pretty concise.
That's a spoiler-free, really, as you could get for a summary for this. Yeah.
Sweet. Thank you. Let's do spoiler-free recommendations. Dodger, you should go first. Oh, no, Lou's going to go first.
Yeah, do it, Lou.
Yeah. All right. So this manga, it's, how can I put it? It's trash, but it's like high quality trash. Like, I definitely recommend reading it if your expectations for like art are extremely low, because like this doesn't really like break any barriers. It just kind of like takes its absurdity, like the idea of just being absurd in a manga, and just really fucking runs with it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, if you like manga that are just inherently absurd with characters that are shallow, but have a purpose behind how shallow they are, like it makes sense, then this may be a manga that you may be interested in. So yeah, I recommend it. It's a fucking thing to read. There are other things I would recommend before it, but I wouldn't necessarily say don't read this manga. Okay?
Yeah, that's kind of as vague as that was. That's kind of where I'm at too. Where it's like it's not that it's like it was fun to read. It's not an incredible manga. There's nothing like mind blowing about it or new about it. I honestly don't really care about any of the character. Like this is a really bad pitch, but like there's so much weird shit that happens in this manga where you're just like, wait, what? Why? What? Why? Like, I kind of recommend it, even though I don't think that it's great.
Yeah, it's
I don't know how to talk about it.
it's so weird. It's such a bizarre feeling, and I feel like I've had this. I'm trying to think how to say it. There have not been many a manga that have made me feel that way, where it's like, this is so weird. This is trash. Why? I don't care about anybody or invested in their future, but why can I not stop reading this? And why am I getting like some weird sense of enjoyment out of it? And I think, I don't know. Like, I can't answer it. It's so weird. I recommend it, and I don't know why I recommend it. Fun to read. It is very, if you're looking for something with a lot of depth, maybe not this one. Maybe
Not this one, boys.
not.
No.
So I don't know.
One thing I forgot to point out is that it's by the same mangaka that did Fire Punch.
Yes.
Which I just don't. Did he? And Moeka.
So I actually ended up liking a few of the characters. So I don't know what that says about me, but the way I'm gonna sell this is if you like himbos in the making, I think this is like a good one for you to check out.
Yo, that's true. This is full of himbos.
Yeah, like the protagonist is literally like a himbo in the making.
So I'm looking up what himbo means, Erin.
I heard himmos, and that took me
himbo.
That took me into why is my hummus grainy?
I guess that's a way to look at it.
A bimbo, but it's a hymn. A hymn.
Oh, I did not know that term.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was an anime.
That's the main character.
That's
is
why
a
I was looking
himbo.
for. I was looking for himbos in the making. I was like, that sounds like an interesting.
Oh no!
I would watch himbos in the making. That sounds like a great anime.
Jotting it down.
I know that Lou said this earlier, but basically, character-wise, it feels like Fire Force, but better.
Yeah.
I wish that Fire Force had done like what this manga did with their characters more, because I absolutely do not care for a lot of the characters in Fire Force. I just ugh. So that's my spoiler-free way of recommending this. If you're looking for something entertaining, this is definitely it. It's like everybody else said, it's not super like in debt, but it's just something fun if you're bored.
And I would like to tack on to that too. It's so fast. It's such a fast read.
Really fast.
Like, we talk about how things are fast to read. This is phenomenally fast. It's crazy how quick this goes. So that's another thing. If you're looking just to if you're stuck at the car wash and need something to check out while your car goes through, just read 21 chapters of Chainsaw Man.
Yeah.
Or at the mechanic, which people tend to wait longer at than the car wash. But,
Then you could read 61 chapters of Chainsaw Man.
Yeah, I'm that kind of like reminds me of I'm kind of wondering some things about this if an anime adaptation ever came about. But yeah, it's a super quick read, which I think is why I'm okay with how everything in this manga goes. because even if I had like disliked it, the like in time investment in it isn't that long. So I don't feel like my time was wasted in any sense.
Yeah.
Also, can we acknowledge that this is running in Shonen Jump?
Yes.
Mhm.
It doesn't feel like a
Doesn't
Shonen
feel like
Jump
Not
manga
at all.
at all.
Not at all. And
Not
that
at
is,
all.
yeah, that is something too. We read it on the Viz Media website. You're able to read it on there. But yeah, it does not feel like something you get out of Shonen Jump. And I think, I mean, I can say this just for spoiler section, but just to like tag onto that, it's like when you see something in a Shonen Jump, you expect a very specific sort of thing, and that is not what Chainsaw
That
Man
is
is.
not this.
Not at all.
Yeah, maybe we should just get into spoiler
Yeah, let's just go into spoiler section. All right, count me down.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
The
Be the
barf
gun
is
devil.
God.
Chainsaw
Well,
Dog is God.
Yes.
Chainsaw
I
Dog
was
is so
thinking
cute.
the gun devil must be God.
Oh, right.
yeah.
What is the gun devil?
We
The
have
big questions.
All right, so I mean, we kind of already touched on this a little itty bitty bit, but the question we tend to like to ask at the very start of spoiler section is, what were you expecting going into this manga? And I guess mine kind of tags on about knowing that it was airing in Shonen Jump, publishing in, and what I was saying about, you expect a very specific kind of protagonist and story, and they're not the same. Like, that's not to say that every shonen is exactly the same or not. But you go in like knowing what is put in which magazine, and you kind of expect a certain thing. And just how, I don't know, out there and crazy, and how much liberties the mangaka has with it so far, having it not been going for very long. Like, I feel like Shonen Jump's been like, all right, do it. Let's see what you do. See how people take it. And they've just been eating it up. I know so many people who have read this manga and have talked about it. And it's so popular. And so it's just really interesting to me. I was going into it thinking, oh, it's going to be shonen, because the cover, too. You have him with his dog, or like him with the huge chainsaw head and all of this. And you're like, all right, he's going to get this power, and he's going to try and overcome something. He's going to have this big old goal. And it's like, his goal is so shallow. He is like a terrible, like, not that great of a person. And I don't know, it works. Yeah. So I did not get at all what I was expecting. I was expecting big shonen battles, and there is shonen tropey stuff fighting in there, but
it felt like it definitely has elements to a normal shonen manga, but it's like if somebody took those elements and then was like, but what if I made it edgier? Like, that's how it felt. This manga is difficult for me because I normally, in a manga like this, I get really attached to the characters, and I really care about like what's going on with them. And there were characters that I enjoyed, but I don't actually give a shit about anybody in this manga. And that was the disappointing part for me. Was I was expecting, like, when I first started off reading it, I was like, oh, this is very different from what I thought it was going to be. And then they started introducing, like devil hunters, and I was like, oh shit, this is going to be the good shit now, right? We're getting into the territory where they're like, here's 1 million people and they're all fucking weird, and I'm going to love a bunch of them. And I was like, but again, like, we've said that about other manga before, and then I've gotten completely addicted to it. So, but yeah, I was surprised that it felt in many dimensions felt very shallow, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, I want to talk about the shallowness of this manga as it related to my expectations going into it.
Sure.
So, I was under the impression that the story, while not taking itself entirely seriously, was also going to be, all right, how can I put this? Probably taking itself seriously to the point that it was absurd and funny. Like that was my understanding of what this manga was. That's not what it is though. It's absurd on face value. The fact that we have a manga that's, that plays into its absurdity, I'm not surprised that the character or the main character is as shallow as they are. But if you look at how the character is constructed, where they're barely subsisting, it makes sense that they can't dream big dreams. In other words, the main character towards the beginning, first couple chapters, is satisfied having a slice of bread to share with his chainsaw dog. And like this is life, and like fathoming, like he didn't even know what you put on bread to enjoy a piece of bread.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that he doesn't have lofty goals, and that's the thing. At this point, he's trying to determine the value of his goals, and he recognizes how shallow they are. So it's not that the character is completely unaware.
Right.
It's not like they completely lack self-awareness. It's that at this point, like, that's a huge gain for them. Now, granted, like his first significant goal was to touch a boob.
Right.
Coming from where he
then
did,
get a kiss.
Yeah.
and like did. I get it. Like at this point, like if you go up Maslow's hierarchy of needs, he will eventually get to a point where maybe he starts looking for something more valuable.
Mm-hmm.
Something that gives him like actual fulfillment.
Right.
For now,
I mean,
he's trying to touch boobs, and that's fine.
I agree that that's the natural place that it must go to, right? Is that there's this organization that does have big shit going on and like important things that they're trying to do, and this just gold mine of an idiot shows up. Like, I don't care, just like pat my head sometimes and tell me I'm cute, and I'll kill whatever. I think it has to get to a point where he like needs something else, but maybe not. Maybe he just continues to be this person. I don't know. I don't know what to expect. I never knew what to expect with this manga.
I think it also kind of has to do with his age, because he, like from the beginning,
15 or something, 16.
Yeah, I think it's like 15 or 16, something around there. While everybody else seems to be like, I mean, they're working in this bureau where I'm assuming they have to be like over a certain age. So it's just kind of like, I think that's where the like shallowness, like when you compare them to the other people, that's where kind of like the disconnect happens, because it's like you have these people who are like clearly adults, have dealt with like traumatic experiences essentially, and then you have this like dweeby teen who's like, oh gee, I wish I had a girlfriend to hug me at night and like pat my back. But I think somebody in the chat basically like boiled it down to him being like, oh, but I can't have a girlfriend because I'm too stupid to be in a relationship, so I guess I'll feel up a boob.
And can we talk about how like his character progression isn't like idiot to finding like a noble cause? It's like idiot to wanting to touch boobs, getting to touch boobs, and realizing they aren't the boobs he actually wants to touch, to like his next goal building from that is, I need the boobs of somebody I'm in love with.
Yeah.
That shit was legitimately funny though, to have him actually touch a boob. And then I was worried that I just chucked that on my cat because I saw that there was a dark thing back there, and I was like, "Oh no!" It's another sweatshirt because apparently I have patterns. Yeah, I loved that we actually got the payoff of him touching a boob like really early, and he was like, "That's it."
Yeah, I think
that was it.
That, yeah, I love that the mangaka like didn't made it such a like disappointment for him, because it made him like realize like, oh, maybe maybe like the thing in the future I wanted, maybe it's gonna be the same like huge ass disappointment. Maybe I really don't want that. Like he had like a crisis about
Like
it
an
almost.
existential crisis from touching a boob. Yeah.
Then he got to touch another boob, and that like rekindled him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mhm.
He's like, I'm motivated
I
now.
think, yeah, I think for my
First, the heart behind the boobs that matters.
yeah.
That's the lesson of this manga.
I think
Damn.
for me going into this, Aaron was just like, "Hey, we're reading this. Do you want to join?" And I was like, "Okay." So all I saw was the cover, and I was just like, I expect a bunch of chains, like chainsaws.
Yeah.
And I mean, I got them. I got them. I just wasn't expecting like this dumb kid who wanted to chase his dreams of boobs. So,
Yeah.
I just
I did not. Oh, sorry.
No, you go.
All I was gonna say is I did not see any of the, because I read this a while ago, when there were only like, I want to say like 15 chapters out or something, and I did not see anything, like any artwork or anything of what he looked like transformed before I started reading it. I had no idea he was going to become like a weird chainsaw monster.
Oh my gosh, that's like the opposite.
Yeah.
So while I was reading it, I was like, oh, he's got a little sidekick. It's a little dog with a chainsaw in his head. And then I was depressed.
Yeah.
I was so sad that the doggo, I mean, he needs
They're
to be
one now.
inside him. They're one now. But I was expecting so much more of that cute, adorable doggo that's on our splash screen to be hanging out. And I was like, oh, like Ash and Pikachu. Just Ash
Every
wants to touch
Shonen
a
Jump
boob.
manga needs like a sidekick, right?
Yes.
Right? Shonen Jump.
Bring it back. Can I say something that like how do I want to say this?
Yes.
Something that freaks me out is when you know how like
Yes.
I'm trying to find
Yes.
I'm intrigued. Please tell me, Aaron.
Okay, so he has the little itty bitty like thing on his chest that you pull the string.
Right. Yes.
That like freaks me out almost as much as the barf because I have this weird like phobia thing of things like sliding out, like a maggot sliding through cheese or something, like just popping out.
Oh.
So having that like
And it reminds
stick
you of
out
that?
of that freaks me.
Okay.
So whenever they would pull it, I was like, no, don't touch it anymore.
I understand now why you were like, how do I say this? Interesting.
But they don't pull on it that often.
Not
either.
that often.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I was going to say, how often would you have been super squicked out by that then? But it didn't happen that many times,
No.
really.
Mm-mm. And that's another thing with him, like his chainsaw self. Like it kind of, they haven't built a ton of rules around it just yet. I don't feel like. So I don't really understand the like. I know that if he loses too much blood, he can't continue doing it.
Right.
But the like, usually we see with like a protagonist, we see the beginning of their power and we watch it progress as they like learn more about it and how it reacts in different fights, and each fight is there to help progress the character and their power connected along. This one was like it just did what it wanted when it wanted. Like we learned when they wanted us to learn somewhat.
Yeah.
So that also threw me off a little bit. I still don't understand like everything about his power and how fiends work and stuff.
Oh my god, when he was in just that big old pile of beasts and was like, "Oh, if I just eat you, then I never run out of blood." I was like,
Yeah.
"What the fuck?" And then they smash cut to 3 days later and they were like, "It's been 3 days. He finally killed it." It's like, okay.
What? Yes.
Okay.
Another aspect to Devils that was kind of highlighted was that they get stronger as they cause more fear.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's going to be the crux of how he and his powers progress. Is that as he becomes more renowned, we're gonna see his power grow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which makes me wonder, like, because at the beginning when he found Pochi, the dog, he was like hurt, and it makes me wonder if he was like this huge chainsaw demon beforehand, and like him getting hurt caused him to like turn into this tiny thing.
That's what I was
And
wondering too.
so
That's a good
yeah,
thought.
that's another thing. And then I'm wondering, like, how did the other devils find out so quickly that he was like inside of the main guy?
Unless he
They're
was
like-
like hot shit before.
Yeah. So that's why I'm like, how is there like some sort of network that certain devils have? Like, what's going on there? I need to
Right.
know.
I mean, maybe killing Bat must have been like fairly high profile.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I mean, it was like just that. It was like the bat demon or devil, and then his like mistress lady.
I did not
Yeah.
like the design of the mistress lady.
No,
Yeah.
me either. Mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
I was perturbed.
Was she like inside of him? I like. Did I miss something? Because I like.
She was just like there from one panel to the next. I didn't really
that's
understand.
why-
what she did.
Yeah,
That's why I was like, was she like a worm inside of him that just on occasion would come out to like talk with him? I don't what's going on there?
Yeah, manga's weird. What do you guys think? Should we talk about?
I agree. But like, I want to read more of it. That's what I'm talking about. That's why this is such a weird manga. Like, occasionally I'll sit down on the Viz app and I'll be like, maybe I'll catch up on Chainsaw Man.
Why do I keep reading?
And I don't know why.
I couldn't stop. I read like 4 more chapters and I was like, why? How did this happen? Why can I not? Lou and I were talking that we picked a very good stopping point. But yeah, I was like, I feel a weird connection to wanting to read this manga while feeling no real connection to other things about it. I don't understand.
Maybe it's because it's really stupid.
Maybe
It's like it's cathartic to read it because it's just like I don't have to think too hard.
Yeah,
Like-
I think it's like
Kind of like watching an 80s action flick, like Rambo, but with a teenage chainsaw guy that wants to touch boobs.
Oh my gosh.
It's Rambo. It's basically the same thing.
I feel like for me, the disconnect for that is it's like partly that it's like, oh, it's like mind numbing, but I also want to know what's up with some of the characters because like I'm really interested to see like what Makima's like thing is because she is like, but I think sorry, before I go into that, the reason that there are some like the majority of the characters I don't really care for is because I think like their whole like stance on like human versus devils, like kill all devils. There is no like, because I think that's kind of why I'm like, oh, I kind of like the main character for that because he's only ever been treated like shit by humans. So the fact that he's like willing to accept that there are some good devils it makes him stand out from the other ones who are like absolutely no, like you're a traitor for even considering like being okay with them or siding with them on whatever. So I think for me it's just kind of like you guys have like absolutely no empathy. Like I get that they're bad, but they're like I'm like I don't know, Pochi like just grew on me, so I'm like they can't all be evil. There's no way.
Yeah.
Pochi.
And so I'm really interested to see like about Makima, like what her thing with this is because she just seems so manipulative, and I'm just
Very
like
chaotic.
I know. Yeah, very chaotic. Like she's like they've insinuated that she's not supposed to care for anyone under her like wing essentially. They're supposed to be dogs that do their job and then get killed.
Yeah.
So I'm just like,
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, she's probably the one I'm most interested to learn more about too.
Yeah.
Aki, what did you guys think of Aki?
Is that the dude?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The guy with the sword.
I know that's not
It's-
super
Yeah, the guy
helpful.
with the little top
Top-
ponytail.
Yeah.
See, his character, like, from when he was introduced to, like, 3 chapters later, maybe I'm thinking of a different one, but his character felt completely different.
Completely different. I totally
Completely
agree with you.
different.
I remember feeling that way when I first read it, and rereading it, I felt that way again. Like, man, he like really changes quickly.
Mhm.
Yeah, it felt like the mangaka started to write him in, and then was like, this doesn't feel right, and then
Yeah.
changed it.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
was introduced as kind of like a throwaway character,
Mm-hmm.
and then he turned into Sasuke.
Yes. That's
Yeah.
exactly what I thought about when reading it. He was like that gruff, like, teacher, like, I'm going to show you the ropes and all of that. And then all of a sudden, he was really, like, angsty, had this past, and was like, all of a sudden was determined to
Yeah.
kill this one thing. I was just like, well, are you the same? I literally had to go back, and I was like, all right, you have that weird ponytail, but are
Right.
you the same person? Are you a different character? Like, it just felt entirely different.
Right.
Like, he was trying to be a lot of different things with that character.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of bringing in a new one, I felt like they were trying to put a lot onto him. To
Oh,
move
can I
story
say
along.
something that really bothered me about him? Like once he was
Yes.
angsty and his relationship with Eye Patch Girl.
Yes.
The fucking section on smoking.
Yeah.
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 What?
Like it would be one thing if it was like one page of like, hey, you only live once and you're not gonna live very long because you're hunting devils. Like
Right.
I get that, but that shit just kept going
They
and
kept
going.
bringing it up. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Like, there was like an entire chapter dedicated to like him being like, no, I don't want to smoke, and her going, yeah, I think you should, and then eventually like he does it, and then he comes back in, and it's supposed to be this powerful moment of being like, do you have a smoke?
I know. Yeah, I
which
thought that was very stupid too.
Yeah, which makes me wonder if it's like later on it's gonna come back as like a moment between them again somehow. Because it feels weird that, I was weirded out that they were like, they kept elongating that section where I was just like, okay, we could have been done with this like
Yeah.
a while ago. But I guess I wasn't too nitpicky about it because like everything else in the manga was going by pretty quickly. So it was just kind of like, okay, this will be done
One
soon,
of
I
them
guess.
is going to die, and they will smoke a cigarette. The other will give them a cigarette, and it'll be their last cigarette, and they'll be sitting
another
there.
Naruto trope.
They'll be against the wall, all bloody, like slumped down and bleeding everywhere, and be like, you go smoke, and then they'll smoke, and the other one will be like not crying until they leave.
Right. I've never seen that before. Definitely haven't seen that
Mm-mm.
before in a
No.
thing.
Ever. Nope.
No,
Nope.
that's a new idea. Chat. Unchained Passion in chat said that on the wiki, somebody commented, wow, Sasuke 2.0 looks great. So it's not just us.
It's not as us. Let's talk about Power. Think about her wild, chaotic evil.
She's just, she felt very tropey. I don't know. She was one
Yeah.
of those characters where I was like, everything you do is very obvious, and it's kind of disappointing to me.
I liked her more towards the end of the reading when she was all about like, all right, I really don't care about you. I kind of just want to see you die, and just like does shit like that. And then she
became idiot number 2. It became Dumb and Dumber in a lot of scenes, and that was actually really fucking funny. Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah. At that point, I was like, all right, I love you guys having these shenanigans, and like might be my favorite part of this manga thus far.
Yeah, I think at the beginning I was kind of like, okay, cool, gal pal, awesome, I guess. And then towards the end she grew on me more because at that point she you could literally see her changing into a character that was just like, I don't care, I'm badass, I'm hot, like I just want to see chaos all around me. And I was like, girl, I feel it.
Lou, what about you?
All right, I wasn't as hard on her as you guys were. Like generally speaking, I thought her introduction was okay. I think a better way to introduce the character would have been that she's not a part of this organization, and she would have been a devil that he would have encountered out on his first patrol. Something to that effect. I feel like would have been a little bit more impactful. But that aside, like I genuinely enjoyed the character. She's a complete idiot, and it's really funny.
Yeah.
But she's also one of the more badass and powerful characters that we've seen. So genuinely enjoy her just chaotic personality and how entitled she is, and how much she doesn't really how little she cares about the others, while also being really funny about it and not coming off as like irritating. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it really does go to show when it sounds like for the most part a lot of us really enjoyed her once her character wasn't taken as seriously. Right, because we had the whole like, I can't believe you trusted me. Blah, 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 blah. And then literally like a few chapters later, she was not flushing the toilet and being an asshole. And like that shit was way more funny, right? Like, I love her in that role because at that point too, we had so many characters who were really serious. So the juxtaposition was really good of like, here are these fucking idiots who don't give a shit about all your emo drama. And then here's these people who are, sitting around smoking and crying about their lives. like just like these two groups play off of each other really well in some scenarios.
I think actually I would say that there's like three groups, because there's like the idiots who are like people are expecting a lot out of, but they're not like what is they're not doing what's expected of them in the way that they're wanting or whatever. Then there's like the emo, like super serious people in the organization or bureau, and then in the middle is like the people who are in the process of joining the bureau, but they're not quite as serious or emo yet because they're newbies, and so it's like them. It's kind of like either they'll make it or they'll break because they just can't handle what's gonna happen like later on or whatever.
Yeah,
because we had that I can't remember, the one girl who was immediately like, Denji, you gotta die. So I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah. She's who I was thinking of too.
Should we talk about the art? Should we jump into art?
Sure.
What are you guys' feelings on the art, other than it delivering the most amazing panel of barf
that we've ever seen, really?
And by amazing, I mean disgusting, and makes me almost not want to recommend this manga.
I've seen multiple people in chat be like, I just have to pretend that Lou's picture isn't there, and then I'm okay.
Yeah.
So when I got to that panel, I felt myself retching a little bit, and then I started dying laughing while also retching.
Yeah.
So my thoughts on the art, it's pretty it's pretty alright. Like aesthetically, it reminds me of Molester Man a little bit. Like in terms of just like the more casual interactions.
Yeah.
The monster designs, from what we've seen so far, are pretty unnerving. Which is what they're supposed to be, so it totally works. I like the design of the main character when he's, in his chainsaw mode. I think it's like ridiculous, but it works because like it matches the tone of the manga. The other character designs, I mean, when it comes to like people that don't have like that aren't eliciting a sense of like strong contrast from everyone else, they all blend into each other. So what I mean when I say that is the other people that were in their squad, all right, squad 4 or whatever it's called, they kind of like all look the same to me.
Yeah.
So like the important characters stand out and they look cool and I like them. The less important characters, it's really hard to track who they are and you know what their role is in this whole process.
Yeah, they feel like red shirts, at least right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty like, I was never super impressed by the art. I think the demon designs are kind of hit and miss, but are really cool when they are hit. There's my biggest problem, I think, was during the fight scenes. There would be so much happening in such a small space, like so many darkened lines and blood and all of this, that like the colors just kind of faded from one, like the black just faded from one thing to the next. So it was hard to make out what was going on at some points. When he, for instance, was in that demon for like 3 days to make him feel so much pain he wanted to die. Like he would pop out and be like, I'm gonna drink your blood, and I'd be like, where is his arm, what is the chainsaw, and what's part of the demon? So it's just that kind of like, sometimes it was hard. I was reading it on mobile too, so that might have made a difference. But when it wasn't, when there was just like a white background, he wasn't in something like, and the character design was much more stark from the background, I thought it looked super cool. I really like his design, and I'm interested in hoping that the mangaka does go like real weird with the designs of the demons, because they've shown that they can here. And so I really hope that that's one thing that if they just want to dive deep into, that they go and do it. But otherwise, the character, like, I wasn't like blown away by the art. Otherwise, I'm like, it's okay, it works with the manga. Just like I think the tone of it, if this was in a different Shonen Jump series, it would not be okay. Like it would be much less. But I think it works really well for the tone of this one, just kind of like how Mob Psycho works for Mob Psycho. Mob Psycho works because it's Mob Psycho. And so I think that kind of helps with the art in this case too. Oh, Dukes, muted.
Oh, you're muted.
Kind of along the same lines as you. I don't find the art particularly impressive, but there are moments where I'm like, oh, that looks pretty cool. I do like the like Chainsaw Man design. But there are moments in the manga in general that are unclear, like in the action, which we've talked about with plenty of other manga before. So it is a common issue. But when there's just like monsters with a million limbs and things going on, I think that typically it doesn't stand out nearly as much. But there are definitely moments where you're going, what? But overall, I don't mind it. It's just not mind-blowing art. Fine.
Yeah. I think, yeah, for me, the art is super simple, which I think works for it, but in the moments of actions like we've discussed, essentially, it's like a huge detriment, because you're like, I don't like what's going on here. Like the actions where this, I feel like the action in this is like where it mostly shines, because that's where like all the crazy designs pop up, and then you're like, oh, that's really cool. And then I remember there was like a, what was it? It was like a spider girl. I don't remember if they said her name. But yeah, when she first popped up, I feel like if he had like done white edges around her more during that scene, maybe it would have helped made her stand out more.
Mhm.
Because it's like she freaking has a ton of legs because she's like an actual spider lady.
Yeah.
And so I think outside of that though, like the simple backgrounds and the like just the simple style of it works really well, especially since it's such a quick read. It's like it makes it even faster because you don't have to focus on like, oh, there's a bunch of crazy like building details. Is there something he's hiding there? You like don't have to really worry about that, so you could just keep reading. Which I think that's what helped me stay so invested in it because it didn't like tire my eyes.
Mm-hmm. That's true. I didn't think
Yeah.
about that. Like I usually when I'm like, oh, it's such a fast read, it's because the like action scenes are so extensive and they go so quick. But yeah, like I didn't think about how the art being simplistic would make something go faster too, which it totally does. God, I can't look at Lou's picture. I just looked at it. It's so gross.
I'm so happy that I decided on that image.
all of us
Like,
were just like, no.
I was thinking as I was reading this, how it would work as an anime adaptation, and honestly, I feel like this would be a series that would work extremely well as CGI.
Yeah. Kind of like how Ajin.
Yeah, that's exactly my mindset.
Yeah.
Where the characters, a lot of them don't really stand out. It allows for some interesting camera movements,
Mm-hmm.
and it gives the devils or whatever monsters an unnerving quality to them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like if this was to get animated, something like a Polygon Pictures would do a good job with it.
Mm-hmm.
Which probably not a popular opinion. There are still a lot of people that are averse to CGI in anime, but whatever. I've kind of like moved past that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say I'm for where CGI is moving towards because like Beastar recently got adapted and it looks fucking great.
Oh my gosh, I
I haven't
haven't
seen that
watched
yet.
it yet, but oh my god, the opening is
It's so good.
amazing.
It's really really well done, and according to like the studio, they when Land of the Lustrous was happening, that was when they talked to the current director of Beastars and they were like, "Hey, we want to adapt this series and we want you to help us with it." So I'm amazed at how long like it's been in the works essentially because back then especially there weren't that many volumes. So
Right.
I'm glad that they saw like how special the series is, and so it's really good.
Yes.
So yeah, I'm excited.
I'm so stoked.
Now,
Let's wrap up and do final thoughts and ratings. Does anyone else have anything they want to touch on?
I think I'm good.
It's something really tiny. It's the protagonist like teeth. It's like it's such a small like thing, but in my mind, I love that he has pointy teeth and that you like clearly see it. Because for me, it just like kind of in my eyes, it just like points out like what a shitty life he had as a kid. Because that's most likely why his teeth are like super effed up. Is because like the dude was super poor and like eating crappy stuff from like the trash can. So it's just like that whole like, it's like, it could be the chainsaw or it could be like he ate trash
Reflective
for
of
years.
his past. Yeah, or both.
Speaking of like eating from dumpsters, there's the whole flashback where he is with his dog and he sees a rat eating vomit. And he's like, "Oh, as a fellow mammal, I find that is super condemnable. This is super low. I'd never do that."
Yeah.
And it really, really made the puke, like making out with the drunk girl and getting puked in your mouth, really made that stand out. That was great.
I hate it.
That's not something that I'm personally into, but I think it's funny seeing it happen to someone else.
Why? I just.
Yeah. Go on.
just
Go
was
on.
so out of nowhere, so unnecessary, but how great is it that it decided to do that? Because now here we are talking about
Now here we
Chainsaw
are.
Man
Yeah.
making
This MangaPod
feelings.
would not be as colorful and vibrant as it is right now if not for the horrific puke scene.
Uh-uh.
Yeah.
What's even horribler is that he thought he was getting a kiss. Like he was like, "Oh, tongue, I'm getting a kiss. This feels so great." And then it turns out it's barf. So he's French kissing barf. Think about that. Think
I don't
about
want
that.
to. Why
I
the
don't
fuck
want-
would
yeah, I
you
don't
say
want
that?
Imagine
need
that getting
that.
animated in CGI.
No thanks. No.
Just details.
No, I don't need any of this. Guys, I'm gonna go to my happy place. I think I'm out. Yeah, mentally I'm shutting down.
Final thoughts and ratings? To move on.
I'll go first.
Okay.
Okay.
Do it.
This is a manga that, as we've kind of like, we've beat this idea to death. The fact that it's not a very deep manga. It doesn't present any complex ideas. It doesn't have any like really strong characters. But it's enjoyable. And I've read a lot of manga that have more complex stories that are infinitely harder to get through than this one. This was a quick read, and I had fun going through it. I appreciate the absurdity of it. I like when manga go a step beyond what is or would be a normal workable story, and take things in just a completely different direction. So I have to give credit for the creativity of this manga. Um, the comedy writing is really on point, and yeah, I totally see myself reading more of this. So to give it a score, I'd say like a 7 out of 10, honestly. Because the action is good, the comedy is good, and I guess I was just in the right mindset to read it.
Mm,
Yeah, 7 out of 10.
nice.
Cool.
Yeah, I think that I'd give this section a 6 probably. It's it's fun. It is fun to read and it's fast to read and you wind up making like really contorted faces while reading it. Um
So true.
Yeah, but like I would recommend it. It's just hard to explain why I would recommend it, you know? Like there's just something bizarre about it. Um it's just a fun bizarre thing to read, I guess. And that sometimes that's all there needs to be, I suppose. So yeah, I'd give it a 6. Mm.
Micah, you want to go?
Sure. I think I'm gonna give it a 7 also, cause I don't know. The art was simple, but
I'm just happy I'm not alone in giving it a score that high.
No.
I like how like low you said that, and we can't see your face, so it's just like, yeah.
Yeah.
I was excited. Okay, stop judging me.
Yeah, I'd give it a 7 just because it was like the action was good, the comedy was good also. Like there were a few things where like it could have like the action in certain parts could have been done better, but I still had a lot of fun reading it. And I think I think for me it's mainly seeing this character that like has come from nothing, which you see a lot of like other manga or anime where the protagonist is like poor or whatever. But this dude like literally has like had nothing ever since he was a child. So it's really interesting to see him be like, oh man, I want a girlfriend, and I do want to like touch her boobs, and then like getting to see him like
I love the way
learn.
you say boobs.
I did too. I just want to touch her boobs.
Like, I don't know. I thought it was really interesting getting to see like actually see him learn like, oh, this was like a really disappointing experience. Like, not all boobs are the same? Question mark. What do? And so for me, that was super interesting because it's like take Mineta from My Hero. Like the dude's like is super pervy, and I can't stand his character. Like I just can't stand it. But with this one, it's like there's like some weird like purity in like his perviness, if that makes any sense.
No, it does.
And so I think just because it like it blew my mind with that scene, and then like just I was not expecting the puke scene. It was just super entertaining. So for me, I'm gonna give it a 7. It's like I think I'm hoping that it improves, but I don't feel like my time was wasted, which is super important to me. So
yeah,
and I will be reading more of this.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I think I'll do a 6.5. I'm kind of falling in the middle of all the opinions. I think it just started to hit its stride near where we stopped reading. But yeah, like Dodger said, it was hard for me to like, I didn't connect to characters. I didn't connect to their motivations and all of this, but it is like very absurd and quirky. And there's just something about it that has me clinging, wanting to read more of it. And I think especially once they got to Denji and Power being the Dumb and Dumber couple, really like aided in the humor and like brought it up another notch, and just also established them as more characters than just cardboard cutouts that are kind of there. So I am definitely really interested in seeing and learning more about the world too. So yeah, I dig it. I think there is stuff though that's still like, some stuff was just so stupid and so silly and just made no sense, and sometimes the art was a little unclear. But I think it's one that if somebody's looking for something super fast, should definitely be checked out. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll give it 6.5.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Sounds
We're all in
so
the same
good.
world.
Yeah, 6 to 7.
Yeah.
Same spatial.
Yeah.
Heart of the titties. Heart of the titties.
He just wants to touch a boob.
He just wants to touch them.
He wants to touch a boob that he's gonna love.
Yeah, he wants to touch the heart under the boob, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So sweet. So sweet.
So sweet.
A true
He's
romantic.
a good pure boy, okay? He is a pure boy.
Oh, okay.
Kinda.
Yeah.
True.
You know, if anyone takes anything away from this podcast, it is that Denji is the perverted purist form of a boy. Oh my goodness.
God, what a horrible first kiss.
It's just terrible. Like you think like
he's a
yours
cursed
are bad.
boy. He's a cursed himbo.
He is.
Himbo in the making.
This is why we need himbo rights, guys. Make it happen. Before I die, I'm gonna make it happen somehow for this community. That's my promise.
So forward thinking, Moeka.
What would we do without you, Moeka?
I don't know.
Probably die.
Probably, guys. Come on.
I agree, definitely.
Mm.
I'm gonna go ahead and that wraps up our discussion on Chainsaw Man. If it sounds like something you're interested in, definitely go and give it a read. Like we said, it is available on Viz's website to go and check out there. So I'm going to read the description for the manga that we are reading next week, and everybody in chat gets to guess what it is. Okay. Okay. In a world populated by blank and blank coexist with each other. For the adolescences of Cheriton Academy, school life is filled with hope, romance, distrust, and uneasiness. The main character is Blank the Blank, a member of the drama club. Despite his menacing appearance, he has a very gentle heart. Throughout most of his life, he has always been an object of fear and hated by other blanks, and he's been accustomed to that lifestyle. But soon, he finds himself becoming more involved with his fellow classmates who have their own share of insecurities and finds his life in schools changing slowly.
Yeah, Unchained Passion got it.
Stars. That is what we are going to be reading next week. We are reading chapters 33 to 88. That's what we'll be reading. And Moika was very on point bringing up Beastars earlier.
It's true.
Yeah.
It was good.
That was some foreshadowing.
Yeah, foreshadowing, guys. Also foreshadowing that you guys are stuck with me for like another week.
Yes.
We have had a lot of Moeka. I've been
Yeah.
chill with it. I
Yeah,
like
I like
it.
it.
This
Yeah.
is a good thing. I'm cool with it.
Yeah, I dig it. I like it.
Yes. How many chapters are we reading?
43 through 88.
Sick. Good.
Sick.
Last time we read, shit got very real. I'm
It
excited to read
did.
a bunch
Yeah.
more.
I was trying to remember. I was thinking about it and remember what we read last time, and I was like, oh man, stuff was hard last week.
Yeah.
Last time.
I remember
feels like
where it
last
left
week.
off,
Still so
and
good.
we were like 1 or 2 chapters short of a resolution.
oh yeah, we
So-
did pull one of
Yeah.
those. We did
It's
do one
fine
of
though.
those.
We're just gonna get a
Classic.
very awkward start, and it'll be fine. And then we'll just keep going.
Just move it on.
Calculated.
But yeah,
Yo,
Yup. Let's go around and shout out our stuff super fast. I am Erin of Happily Erin. I have a YouTube channel, youtube.com/Happily Erin. I haven't posted very much on there for a little bit, but if you want to go and check out previous manga pods or my anime reviews and first impressions, mental health awareness, all that stuff. Currently working on a book, which has been taking up my free time on the 3rd rewrite. So I'm getting through it, figuring it out. If you want to hang out with me, I am very active on Twitter and Instagram. Come over and check it out. Thanks.
I'm Dodger. You can find me at DexBonus on pretty much everything. I stream almost every day, and that's really it. If you want to come hang out, that would be amazing. I sometimes post horrifying Instagram things of my child. It's
so
good.
They're
It's
great.
good stuff. So, yeah, come hang.
there's Lou, and I don't do things on the internet apart from yell on Twitter. That's basically what I've concluded that my role in this this little community that we have is. So it's at Lou Talks Anime. So yeah, go follow. You'll hear me complain about certain aspects of my job and gush about other parts. I'm very happy with this new thing I'm doing.
Yeah.
And yeah, go follow that Twitter, please and thank you.
Do it. Hello, I'm Moika. You can find me at Mega Moika on just about everything. I also stream probably here late night. I'll be streaming a little indie game if you're interested in checking that out. My Twitter is a lot of husbandos, me talking about hot anime characters that I'm into for the month. So I guess flavor of the month if you're interested in that. Himbo Rights.
Himbo Rights.
Himbo
Moeka
Rights.
2020.
Yeah, 2020 cats, cosplay, just a bunch of stuff. So if that's interesting, check that out.
Amazing. Thank you so much for coming on again. We always love having you.
Yay.
And
I love
Thank
being
you.
on here. So much fun.
You're the best. It's so fun. And thank you to everybody who's watching us in chat. We really appreciate it. If you want more Reddit, if you want more MangaPod, we have subreddit reddit.com/r/MangaPod. You go and check it out there. Otherwise, we will be here same time, same place next Thursday, Tuesday. Wow.
So someday.
my God.
The schedule's been a little
Every day.
iffy lately, so it's okay.
All the time. Beastars chapter
Yeah.
43 through 88. That was the one line I wanted to get out, and I just tongue tied everywhere.
yeah.
So we will be here next week talking that, and we will see you guys then. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thanks,
Bye.
guys.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Keep killing it.
Kill it.